And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to jump into our second series of the evening. Apex people going up against TNL. We had the analyst desk prepping you guys for this one. It could be an absolutely close set, much like we saw in game number 1.
I definitely think so. I mean, even though Apex people won against TNL 2-0 last weekend, that doesn't mean anything right now. This is a different tournament. It's a different reason to be here because for TNL, they had basically already qualified for this event. So for them, it was kind of, there wasn't as much to play for. For Apex people, there was a lot on the line when they were going up against TNL. Now, very different circumstances. A lot on the line here. There's money, there's pride, there's getting further in the tournament, there's, well,
championship points.
Yeah, championship points. I don't know if either of them want to face Vision Strikers next, but you know, that's what happens if you win.
Yeah.
Neither of those options are good. I mean, if you win or lose, you got to go up against, you know, maybe number 1 and 2 in Korea, but it's going to be really fascinating to see how this one turns out. I thought the desk was bringing up a really good point. Is either of them going to play Icebox? Because neither of them has, because none of them have played Vision Strikers. So this is going to be really interesting to see what is going to come out through these picks and bans for the maps.
I mean, much like Vision Strikers, if you have Icebox prepped and you can execute on that map, it is an ace in the hole. A lot of teams are not ready, are not willing to play on that map. Still wouldn't be shocked if we see it banned by either of these teams, but time will have to tell. For now, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the rosters. We're going to have Sound, Jonghai, Zeus, Wix, and Park Jong here for Apex people.
Yeah, I mean, you're all eyes on Jonghai. This guy is an emerging superstar jet player here in Korea. The guy is just filthy good. Gets it done with the operator, gets it done with other guns. He really, really likes the operator. He's very, very strong on it. Great movement, great utilization of his abilities like all good jets. And then Zeus, a fantastic Killjoy.
Yeah.
Really just a Killjoy main. He doesn't play anything except Killjoy. So if he plays something else, then things have gone quite interestingly. But he is one of the best Killjoys I've seen. Really good use of his abilities. Blocks off a lot of smart places, particularly on like Split. I thought he did some really interesting stuff around the ropes and things like that there. Really keeping control of that part of the map on a map where you maybe not always see Killjoy.
Yeah, I mean, the guy knows how to frag. You know, that's the main thing. He knows how to utilize his utility on the Killjoy, but he also knows how to click heads, as we saw so many times throughout those intro videos there, the highlights. Over on the other side, it's TNL, who are looking a bit like the challengers in this matchup, given the recency, in the last match, the last time these guys clashed with Apex people coming out on top 2-0, and also just how TNL has been performing throughout the challengers so far. It has been weaker. They have been on a downward trend, much like Chobra and Ending Life we're talking about on the analyst desk, and it's time for them to bounce back. They look a bit reinvigorated with Ritzy on the roster, but of course, it's really all going to come down to Exy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this team lives or dies by this superstar Exy. You can't say enough about how good he is. His crosshair placement is insanely accurate. His game sense is through the roof. I mean, he plays a lot of different agents well, but particularly Raze, he is just godlike on, even though there is godlike on his team, but yeah, you can't say enough about him. The rest of the team quite good. TS, a good jet player. Godlike, your in-game leader, I think, does a good job. And it's a good team that has a lot of potential. And again, this is the actual sister team, former sister team of Vision Strikers, not New Turn. So this is the actual former sister team, now TNL. And they have a tough one. I mean, Apex people, yeah, they're playing really good VALORANT top to bottom recently.
Well, the matchup, of course, is going to be Jonghai up against XC as we take a little bit of comparison between the two. Higher ACS going to be there for XC, but pretty much dead even as far as their KD is concerned. Headshot percentage from XC, I mean, 30% is just disgusting. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fairly close matchup. The clutch is not quite going to be there for either of them, but we'll see if they even get put into those situations. TNL, they're going to be looking to come back here and absolutely dominate. We heard from Godlike during our intro video with the trash talk, and he, again, to reiterate, he said he felt like they got backstabbed by Apex people. They did not expect them at all to perform at that level, so they were very much caught off guard. Now they know what Apex people are capable of. The question is, have they been able to prep well enough to actually take them down this time out. Looking at our predictions, you and I are going to have a little bit of a divide here. I'm going with TNL. I think given the recent tape, given that loss, I think it's going to set a fire under their asses to come back into this set and take down Apex People, but you're still favoring them.
Yeah, I still really liked what I saw from Apex People. I saw a lot of discipline, and I'm seeing, like, Junghai in particular is really rising to the top. I mean, in a do-or-die situation, these guys' backs were to the wall. They came through, and they came through big time. And yeah, I think it is. I think TNL coming into that match after 2-0ing both Tubapol and WGS, it wasn't quite the same for Apex People. They only went 1-1 against Tubapol. They did 2-0 WGS as well, but it was kind of an off week for WGS. That being said, Apex came in and they got it done, and I'm going to be real curious, what the maps are going to look like, because Ascent was pretty well handled, frankly, by Apex People, and I'm a little nervous for TNL if that map comes into play.
Well, it very well may. Inho continuing to be my homeboy over on the Korean side of things, also going for TNL. He and I were able to get the Vision Strikers.
I had Vision Strikers.
You had Vision Strikers, but you
I said 2-0.
I got the 2-0. I got the 2-1. So
all right.
Inho sticking with me through thick and thin.
You take your minor victories. I'll let you have it.
Look, I'm calling him out because he and I have been casting, kind of alongside each other in quotations for many a year now. 3 years, I believe, since Overwatch Challenge.
Okay.
Contenders had started.
I see. So there's like we
got a little bit of a history
link there.
But here we go. Okay, Icebox does get brought in. So the predictions on the analyst desk proving to be correct. TNL will be taking us there. Makes sense. Former sister team of Vision Strikers also feeling comfortable on Icebox. So that will be kicking things off for us. Then we'll move into Ascent, and then we'll change things up with Bind as our potential third map.
Yeah, so this is interesting. TNL last time picked Split, and Bind was their ban. So this is kind of swapping things a bit. So they're practicing different stuff, showing a different look to Apex People, and I think that's kind of interesting because they almost won Split. It went to overtime, and they just barely dropped it, 14-12. I mean, it was a very close round on that map. So pretty interesting to see them switch this up. I shouldn't say there's no Bind pick. It's the dead map, but I mean they did not pick Bind last time, so it was banned, in fact.
We get it by default.
Yeah, same ban for Apex People, though.
Yeah, fortunately, we have done away with the randomly selected third map that we did have as our system for First Strike. So whatever is left after the picks and the bans, that is the third map that will get played. So it gives you a little bit of extra depth, thinking about what you want to do, what you want to take away, because even if you're not that big of a fan of Bind, it very much could come up to bite you in the rear later on. That's why we see teams like Vision Strikers who very much dislike playing on that map, just getting rid of it completely and being willing to play the rest of the games. So Apex People, pressure is on for this young budding squad of full potential superstars. Diamonds in the rough right now are Apex People, whereas TNL much more refined but suffering from inconsistency as of late.
Yeah, so I have some interesting questions coming into this one for TNL. Who's playing Omen? Is going on Icebox. We don't really know. We haven't seen Icebox from either of these teams, so we have like literally zero idea what to expect. Is it going to be Echo or Ritzy? Is Ritzy going to play Sage? On Icebox, a lot of people think Sage is really, really strong on Icebox, and I think that's true. We've seen what you can do with those walls. You can be really tricky with them. You can be really cheeky. Of course, having those heals and other things are nice. Having Skye on that map, clearly pretty strong as well, as we saw with Vision Strikers.
Yep.
Are we going to see something completely off the wall, like, God forbid, Yoru? But I don't think so. It doesn't really feel like Yoru fits into the meta right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see if these teams are also going to be favoring the Skye pickup. We saw a lot of it going in for Challengers Week 3. Skye was becoming much more prevalent. It's the first time that we had seen her, and then Vision Strikers come out and they play her in all 3 maps, giving that to Stax. Stax, speaking to you after the game, saying that Breach is dead to him, and that he's just going to be, potentially a Skye 1 trick, maybe still flipping over to the Sage from time to time. But
I don't know how much I believe him. But
Crabs in the chat, Breach is dead. But he played it extremely well. So the question is, are these two teams going to put as much stock in Skye as Vision Strikers is right now? Do we see another change up like we saw from ZF Gaming when they played against Vision Strikers? Do we see something like the Viper come through to try to make some set plays, get that tube access, get the cutoff with the poison wall to just go ahead and be able to slide into either A or B with some secrecy?
I don't think we have a Viper on either of these teams, right? We don't have somebody who plays it. I do not believe.
In history, but
yeah,
you never know.
True.
Taking a look at our agent selection, very quickly are the Apex people locking in their setup. There you go. Final completion will be there. So Parkjong still going to be going for the breach. Will not be seeing a Sky from either side by the look of it, but Ritzy will be running with the Sage.
Yeah, I mean, for Apex, there's, like, they haven't changed basically anything. That is exactly what they basically always do. And again, the questions were for TNL, who is going to be playing the Omen, and TS.
Yeah, change up.
Actually, so this is a big time change up. This is typically your Jet player from TNL, but we have seen this before, where they will let someone else play Jet. And the real question is Exy not going to be playing Raze? Is he going to be playing Jet?
We saw it from him in the last series. Exy playing the Jet on Split, I do believe.
Yeah.
And looks fantastic on it. So that will be the lock-in. Exy going back to his roots.
Love it.
Still not going to be seeing any Arena, at least not here for map number 1. We'll see if that develops as we go deeper into this series. See how far we can go. Yeah, I know, getting me jazzed up.
I love this. I'm sorry, this song is amazing. Oh my God.
I already cracked open another energy drink. Now I feel it coursing through my veins, paper thin. It is time to get this series started. Apex people versus TNL. We are going to an unprecedented second icebox here today to kick things off. Let's see who can get a win on map number 1.
I gotta point out, this is kind of interesting. A Sentinel list, except for Zeus, but no Sentinels here for TS, for TNL, excuse me. Of course, TS never plays Sentinels. That would be something really unusual.
That's definitely a change worth talking about.
That would be it. But yeah, I mean, it is quite interesting to see TNL kind of really mixing it up, and it looks like it might be a pretty quick start. Exy gonna get the opening headshot onto Sound with the Ghost, gliding over to that box. I love seeing the Jets do that. That's a really nice little maneuver you can use to get up to green.
Gets himself up top. It does receive a little dart, so goes ahead, pulls back, playing this one out safely, but it's a very good opening kill here for TNL. Healing Orb going to be used on the Godlike to go ahead and top the Raze back up. Yep. Now we see what happens here. Sage, of course, worth mentioning, is a Sentinel, but not really in the same way as the Cypher and
that's
the
kind of what
Killjoy. She kind of treads that line. We kind of think about it, especially here in Korea, as somebody who can lock down an entire site by themselves.
Yeah, there's only when I talk about Sentinels, I'm really only considering Cypher and Killjoy. I'm not. Yeah, I get Sage is like technically, but she has such a different role.
Very much so. Now wait, pushing forward. It's going to be a nade up the top, but won't really find much other than the turret. The wall will go up. Default plant going to be coming through from Godlike, but the Nano Swarm will displace him. Just slides over to the side. In the meantime, TS coming in from underneath of 2 will be found by Wix as he pokes out of the kitchen window. It's a little kill here for them. Now a 4v4 attempted retake for Apex people. As the wall gets broken through, just knifing that one down.
It's so hard to defend.
After shock to clear, Zhonghai manages to find one, follows up, looks for the last one, cannot quite get it. Does fall to Ritzy. But now it comes down to Echo. Recon Bolt up the top, manages to spot both, gets the headshot on the Parkjong. Tries to play this one out patiently, but Zeus pushes the corner. It's a nice little headshot in return. That will be the defuse coming in as Apex people start off 1-0.
I like the flank by Echo, but it's a little late. It's just a hair too late. It's a good idea, because it's really, really difficult to defend the bomb on B from yellow. You only have 2 angles, really, that you're able to move from. Maybe 3 if you count the green side, but you're kind of stuck behind that big yellow container. And so you have to find another angle to come from, because it's just too easy for the defender side to come through and just lock you down one way or another, whether that be with smokes or just good shooting. And there you go. You can see why. And I mean, again, I get the idea with Echo. He's just a second too late to come through there. Good shot. Good recon dart. Good shot through that broken wall.
So I'm just going to play the safe. Pulls back instantly this time rather than risking getting picked. There is still going to be some aggressive purchases coming through here from the side of TNL. 3 sheriffs rather, and a ghost. Zhonghai getting quite a bit of damage in. Onto this Sage as the healing orb rolls. Will be able to finish him, but takes quite a bit of damage in the exchange. So 20 HP remaining here for Zhonghai in an otherwise 1v1, or 1-for-1 trade out.
Well, you get the Sage, so at least they can't heal Echo. I guess you got that going for you. You know, heals on the side.
Now actually gone.
Yeah. No heals for Apex people either. Sheriffs. Look at that Sheriff.
Great looking skin. TS making good work of it here. And just to find Wicks. Spots one up top, shots flying through, tries to get the last one, runs out of bullets. So Zeus will manage to take down TS. Godlike there to respond in kind. Spike going to be planted yet again, but very low HP numbers for the two remaining members of TNL. Park Jong going to be at 92 HP, 33 shield. Donghai, one stray shot would be enough to finish him off. Hunter's Fury is up from Echo, that's why he's going to be playing back, just looking to buy time here on the Spike. The ult will fly through. Godlike finds Donghai. Park Jong takes him out. Hunter's Fury clearing the other side. This is at least going to be a tap to halfway. Starting to advance forward, has to drop down. Gets him up the Spike for a moment. Flashpoint, ready to fly. Spots him. He just needs to play for time. Down to 19 HP versus 6. He's going to be sticking it, but the headshot comes through just in time from Echo. Not even a second to spare. Before that, the fuse would have come off, and TNL tied up 1-1.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Park Jung maybe get aggressive after the half, or even while the Hunter's Fury was still flying. He had the opportunity, I think, to get close enough to Echo while that last Hunter's Fury was being fired to maybe finish the job. He only had 6 hit points. I'm not sure how much information he had or how much communication there was from his teammates that Echo was one hit. It wasn't just a meme, it was actually one hit. And if he had just, gone for one of those bullets, they could have got it. Instead, it's a big second round win for TNL.
I've never noticed that squirrel and that worm. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
I got nothing, man. I don't know what squirrels and worms have to do with each other. It's like birds and worms I would get.
With an Arctic base as well.
I don't really think worms survive well in cold, really, really cold. Maybe they do, I don't know.
Nor do I. Godlike, though, entry into the backside, but Zeus manages to cut him down with a nice... Oh, man. Sheriff headshot. Follows up for a second. Is still alive and in the mix of things, but Exy will get rid of 2. Zeus now falls. 3 kills for Exy on the board. Do we see more for the TNL superstar? Holding this angle, sound will fall to Ritzy, and TNL looking very nice and secure here. 4 kills at the end of the round as they move up 2-1.
That's such a great wall placement. Really gives you such a nice angle up and over it for a player like Exy, who can just nail those shots. Just ridiculous stuff. He's just fantastic. One of the best raw aimers in Korea. His shooting is just so darn good. I mean, look at this angle that he has.
Yep. I mean, I very much have to agree with Ending Life. I think that Exy, probably the best in Korea as far as just raw aim.
Yep.
Guy is just too damn good. King up there as well to go ahead and echo that additional sentiment from our analyst. Con dart. Not going to get too much of a spot, but there's Exy showing off that aim yet again. Flashpoint comes out, but that's just so Park Jung can exit safely. Pushing up now onto green. TS again finds a nice little pick-off, taking down his counterpart Omen and Sound. And the Spike will now get rotated around to the A site where it's being defended solely by Zeus.
So, even though the economy is going to be bad, if Apex people lose this round, and you're going to be able to get the heal off on TS there. If they lose this round, the economy's going to be bad. They spent a lot on this. The good news is Donghai has Blade Storm, Zeus has Lockdown if it doesn't get used here.
That is true. He's a little angle there from Zeus, but can't quite get the hits that he was looking for. So Ritzy does manage to turn around and get that kill. Shock darts flying through. Wicks playing up in the Raptors around the back. Does manage to find the punish here onto the enemy Sage. Dart out, does get the tag. But can they get the retake? 30 health remaining for Wicks. Will fall. TS cleans up both of them. Back-to-back. 3 kills in the round for him. 3-1 TNL.
All right, so even though the money's going to be a little odd for Apex people, there is a chance for them to put something good in this round together. They have a lot of ults available. They have a good chance at a good retake. So for them, I don't want to see them getting too aggressive. And I say that, and it is one of those eco rounds. So the natural inclination of some players is to just try to push up, try to get, you know,
catch them off guard.
Yeah, exactly. Get a pick somewhere. Could happen. We'll see. But I wouldn't mind to see them just play for a retake. They've got a lot of nice abilities ready.
Well, looks like they are looking to get a little bit spicier as they move forward here onto the rafters. Ritzy holding down the angle. Is he prepared for 2 of them to be up there?
He's the one exception.
The answer is yes.
He's the one exception. Junghai's the one exception. He's allowed to get aggressive because he's Jet.
Yeah. Well, Sound is dead again. That's going to be 5 for him in 5 rounds. Hasn't really been able to contribute a whole lot because he's often the first one to get picked off. So needs to get warmed up, get into the group, because so far it's been a rough look for him. Boombot going to be tossed out. Godlike gets himself up on top of Yellow, forces the position of Wix, shoving him down to the low ground now. Zhonghai trying to come in from behind. Did get rid of TS, so an opening kill, a reset on the Blade Storm to start. He's making his way up past Orange, whereas everybody else from TNL, unsurprisingly, is playing back behind Yellow and at green. Dash forward, Blind comes out. Wix takes it away, so he doesn't actually get the reset, so now runs out of knives. That could be pretty deadly, yep, and it is. They cut them down in the end with Exy finding 3. TNL continue to look very good, 4-1 so far here on Icebox.
Yeah, that's a little weird there. I think that's a bit of a miscommunication. I can see Junghai's a little kind of, not upset, but a little disappointed with that. You don't need to use 2 ults on 1 person there. That's a little overkill, I think. The flash had hit and Godlike, so that's fine. He should be dead to rights for Zhonghai. You gotta rely on the fact that Zhonghai can take that. And I don't know, maybe the Hunter's Fury is aimed at something else and I just didn't see it.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But Wix, in that situation, probably should just be trying to cut off green axis, force them back around that side so that they can buy more time to get, to advance and get moved up towards the spike. So,
exactly.
Like you said, maybe a miscommunication. Zhonghai now, though, with Operator in hand, taking a nice little deep peek over at a main. Ritzy's still going to be in the vicinity, but isn't even moving up onto the rafters right now. Meanwhile, ooh, barely saw his head. Cannot get the hit, though.
I really like the agent lineup for TNL. It gives them a ton of ability to utilize the verticality on this map. I mean, think about this. You have 4 agents who can naturally put themselves up in different spots.
Yeah.
It's crazy cool what they can do, theoretically. We'll see if they really take advantage of it, if they even have to. So far, they've been using the top of green.
Yeah. Well, spotted there. Zhonghai not going to get darted, but pulls back. Relocating himself and trying to play a different angle with the Operator. Been a very slow creep here for TNL. Just trying to get as much information as they possibly can. A move up nearly into Kitchen. Sound inching his way back. The timing on this peak from TS would be absolutely huge. But now Zeus is in a position to potentially punish. Playing around this hut access. Lobbed in, spots 1, throws the rocket down. Wix falls. Sound finally gets himself on the board with the kill onto Godlike, making it a 1-for-1 trade out. As TS inches in through the kitchen. Lockdown, invested. Sound finding 3. Cannot follow up for the 4th. Echo will manage to take him out, but it's a great amount of damage dealt here by the Apex Omen. Zeus now bringing it down to a 1v3, and he is completely detained, so they will go on the hunt. Wrap it around from behind. Still just waiting it out as the spike gets defused. That will be the finish as Apex people go ahead and put a 2nd round win on the board, but Echo will make it a little bit more costly for them. Takes an extra gun out of their hands, but the round win is the thing that matters most.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a good win. Definitely there. Good retake. Good patience in the tubes. A good trade by Sound early on. And then he follows up with 2 more quick kills on the B, and that's a lot of open space. Then you have the Killjoy lockdown to put people in jail. And then it's pretty easy from there for them. Now, still they have the Rolling Thunder for Park Jung. Sound has got his from the shadows going. Ritzy is a res. A lot of ults available on the side of TNL now. So a lot of options. And you can just hang on to that Blade Storm if you're Exy for a while. Curious to see if anybody's going to pick up an Operator on the attacker side for TNL. They're just playing back by their spawn right now, though. They really think Apex people is going to, want to come out and aggress, but so far they haven't.
Spamming through, hoping to get a lucky connection. No one there to receive the bullets, though. So you just have TS playing back, looking to see if anybody's going to be aggressively pushing up through mid. And again, it's just info seeking for TNL. Slowly playing around, now making the call to make their way up through A. Operator still in the hands of Zhonghai. See if he can find much of anything here. Great cloud burst placement coming out from Exy. Cuts off that line of sight at the crucial moment. Now Zhonghai going to get spotted there for a brief moment. TP from TS, putting him into that defender spawn. Can he capitalize? The answer is yes. Wix falls, but Zeus is quick on the response, pushes out around the corner, finds the kill. Push out from Park Chung after on the back of the flash. Godlike does fall in the end after getting that kill. So with 2 members left standing, Apex people will close out yet another round, getting themselves within touching distance of TNL.
That's one of the better from the shadows I've seen. He got a kill out of it, really set himself in a good spot to take advantage of the rotations, but just on the site itself, it's just very, very good shooting.
Yeah.
Very good shooting from Apex, and I mean, they're in great spots. It's a good early cloudburst, like you mentioned, to kind of displace Junghai, and then you also dart him. You know where he's at, but while in the middle of all that, they're able to kind of buy some time, and then Junghai's even able to pick up 1 kill with his operator, and they pick it back up, get in his hands.
Yeah. I just got another shout out to Exy with that smoke. It's just gorgeous. Not only did he read the positioning of Junghai, but he managed to, to double curve it.
Right.
It was just absolutely beautiful to watch. Rolling Thunder does get used. Park Chung slowing them up here in mid as we have a 3-person push. 2 already making their way over onto the A site. Flashpoints used to try and buy a little bit more time, keeping them contained inside of this dark cover. Start to poke out. Park Chung goes for that pick. XC manages to find him, but Junghai takes out TS. Wix now falling. 1-man advantage so far for the side of TNL as the spike will get planted. That's a 3-man retake attempt getting ready to come through for Apex people. They would love to tie this up right now. Let's see if they can engineer that.
That's a Chad move to get in through A-Link there by TNL. I mean, that is tough to do, to get around that corner through Boiler. That is really impressive. Then they could throw a wall up and make it so there's really only one angle that Apex people can come from.
Oh, XC taking a tap. See the head there, has to pull back. Hunter's Fury coming out, gets rid of Junghai. Says, nope, you are not defusing that one. It seems like now Spike gonna be going off. Yep, there you go. There's the finishing kills. TNL stopping Apex in their tracks, putting another win on the board, keeping themselves at an arm's length with a 2-round lead.
Yeah, it's just, they're really solid on this push. Again, once they get up into Boiler, the Rolling Thunder opens the door for them to do that. They push right through into A-Link. Just really, really nicely done. And, I mean, Junghai, of course, we know he's really good with the operator, but TNL does not care too much. And again, that wall is so fantastic. It literally makes it so there's one place you could come through, and that's from Rafters.
Yeah.
That is it.
Well, really good with an operator. Let's see how he is with a Marshall. Not the first time that we've seen him use this, but Zeus trying to pull up here over towards green. Does get caught off guard, as does Wix, just trying to clear the boom bot. Ritzy pushes the corner, manages to eliminate him, and just like that, the B bomb site has been completely broken open. Park Chung now going to be dancing back and forth. Just ducking in and out of the windows here. Does get the headshot lineup onto Godlike. Kind of ego peeks him again. Have to respect the Sheriffs, especially, even at that range. But Park Chung not respecting the left side look. Ritzy with a nice little 1-tap will finish off sound. And now it all comes down to Junghai in a 1v3 with nothing more than a Marshall in his hands.
Yeah, this is going to be rather difficult for Junghai. He fakes it, taps it.
Tries to get him.
Yeah, can't do it.
Close just over top of his head there with the crosshair placement. So Ritzy finds 3 kills on the round, and TNL still look very good here on the map pick of Icebox.
It's the attacker side, too. They look really, really strong. Doesn't matter which side they go, either. They had one kind of slip up on B, but on the pistol round, and that's about it. I mean, other than that, they've been pretty darn solid overall. And now, looks like we do have a buy, full buy, able to be done by Apex people. So this is a pretty important round here. They're spending quite a bit of money. They'll still have a little bit left.
Oh, they're looking to get really aggressive here, but Junghai, oh, the timing. Looks back over to the main, but they come through the hallway. Exy, surprisingly cut off guard. Was not ready for Park Chung to be pushed that far forward. Spraying through the smoke, trades a little bit of damage back, but the paint shells will force him to fully retreat. Fault line as well, just to make sure that he doesn't get pursued any deeper. Drone out from Echo just to clear green. Sees that there's nobody else hovering nearby. In the meantime, TS has got himself situated here in the kitchen, just holding the angle. Park Chung is not ready for it. Ritzy now going to be burning the res to bring Exy back into the round, just to go ahead and try and guarantee victory. If not, just have an extra gun ready to go for the next round.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting. They maybe could have tried to punish that, knowing that the ult was up and that Exy was over there, but they're really not able to get in the position. The wall's able to be saved for the plant.
Good covering fire there from Godlike. A little bit of a transfer spray from Sound did tap up Godlike a bit. Surprisingly enough, the healing orb was used on Godlike instead of Exy. So he's still going to be stuck at about 20 health. But with 2 members left and their economy very much in shambles, Apex people kind of just need to be looking for any sort of exit frags that they could possibly get and hold on to these rifles for themselves. Shot coming out. Zeus almost looking like he was going to choke on that, but does follow up for a second one. Gets the one tap on the Exy. Finds a third. Wow. Really solid stuff as he gets 3 before getting eliminated. 3 here for Godlike as well, but the spike will go off all the same. And TNL put 7 on the board. 2 more rounds to go in the half.
Yeah, Wick's forced to hang out in the defender spawn all the way in the back at the end, and nobody quite crosses in front of his path to go. So yeah, it's getting pretty interesting now. 7-3. Only a couple more to go in the half. And now, again, the money is there enough that some of them can buy, but not all of them for Apex. I mean, Zeus, racked himself up just enough that he can get the half armor and a Vandal. A few others had a little bit banked up. So some half armors coming through. Junghai has the Blade Storm, so he can save up at least on that.
Yeah, very much, must win with just the last 2 rounds here in the half. Again, 7-5, not going to be too detrimental for them if they can actually pick those up. We need to have a very strong attacking side, though. But Junghai is going to be backing it up. Looking to clear out that drone. Will get darted. Has to fully reposition all the way to that mid link. TNL shaking it up. Get a decent amount of scouting done over there at A. They've got 3 members stacked on that side of the map. One holding down Tube for now. We'll see if TS wants to try to make a play in there or if he's just going to be crossing underneath and get into orange. Conbolt does not spot much of anything.
Can he get around that?
Making quite a bit of noise.
Yeah. And you can see the smokes are going to go down. Block off the snowman.
Oh, man. Follows up with that right click. Showstopper out from Godlike. Does get shut down. Sound finishing him off before he can actually get the rocket in the air. Decent amount of damage traded out now onto Sound up top, but Exy falls. This is certainly a winnable opportunity here for the side of Apex people. 4 members strong, the lockdown rolling through. That is not where that was supposed to go.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, man. No, it does not. Junghai does manage to finish him off. Daggers flying through. There's the finish on Aritzi. 2 members left alive. That will be the defuse coming in. As Apex people get 1 step closer to that 7-5 record here on the first half of Icebox.
Yeah, that's a really nice hold there. Even though, goodness gracious, Echo with a crazy good play, gets shock darted and just comes around and picks up a quick double with that Phantom. That is sick. Absolutely sick. But Apex people looking really, really strong. Lockdown helps. Having that Killjoy available just gives you some really nice options. Pretty decent Blade Storm from Junghai. Gets a couple in there as well. So yeah, that's a lot of money and gives him the ability to get the operator because he gets in there.
Yeah, getting that first initial finish off onto TS was huge. It looked like he was going to be dead to rights, but does manage to just get the full pivot into the right-click kill. We see sometimes Jets completely whiff the right clicks when they're catching somebody off guard, let alone when they're staring them straight in the face. So
it's also a big deal that Sound didn't die right away. He got hit by a fault line. And he kind of walked right into it, but he took a bunch of damage through the wall, and he was able to stay alive and stay up there, and that really buys them a lot of time and space.
Yep. Well, drone forward now as TNL just look to gather some information here for themselves. We'll spot 1. Junghai plays back above this mid exit. Dark cover getting dropped out. Just keeps looking.
Just seeing if anybody wants to go up there.
Holding the angles. We do have Godlike hovering in nest right now. Oh, Sound just taking that from the shadows. Immediately finds a couple people over here just outside of green. Now the call will come through for the retreat back over towards the A site. Since Godlike was able to inch himself so far forward here. Operator out, barely, just does not notice this raise, and he catches them by surprise. Now they see him, Godlike comes in from the flank, gets the headshot. Spike moves forward, Plant will come in, Walt cuts off the back, but they're delaying as much as they possibly can. Shots are not going to connect, but Zeus manages to take down TS. Godlike repositioning because of the aftershock here. Blast packs his way back around the front of the site. Now looks to hold down this mid-angle approach, but Sound manages to strike first, finishing him off. Ritzy gets one, then gets taken out by Wix. Xe with an operator in his hands. It's a little bit of revenge here, takes a shot. Sound gets a little bit of damage in onto the enemy jet. Now is going to be spotted by that recon ball. Spike just starting to get tapped. The Hunter's Fury flies through. Echo gets the first one. Xe gets the second. TNL, they close out the half 8-4.
So that last one in the half could have gone very, very differently if Wix can get his second 2 Hunter's Fury on the mark, onto Ritzy. He could have delayed the spike long enough, potentially, that it doesn't get planted.
Yeah.
He just went a little bit too far to the left. I mean, that's, like, everything is a game of inches, and here you can see why. I mean, he was so close. The first one right on the money to delay that plant, and the follow-ups were just not quite there.
They were not, so it's a solid start on the map here for TNL, but that's kind of what we were anticipating. You know, even with the Apex people starting off on that defender side, this is TNL's map pick. This is the least picked map in Korea. So it's not too shocking to see TNL looking very comfortable here right now. To see Coach Bale there in the back, getting some words in during the tactical time out.
Yeah, they just seemed a little lost on defense there. They weren't really able to ever play aggressively to cover green. I mean, they never ever could. They were always playing back. I mean, yes, they were setting up the Killjoy utility with that in mind, but they were never really able to stop anything going through B. So the plants on that side were relatively easy sometimes. In A, the smokes are just fantastic from TNL. They really have those practice. Like you mentioned, that one from Xe around the corner, that double move. Even sometimes the Omen TS is laying them in good spots. On top of pipes even, that blocks off a lot of that vision from the rafters area. So it's just, it really makes it hard when you know your opponent is going to go for that operator, and then you throw those smokes down. It makes it hard for you as that defender side to get in a decent position. You can see them really isolating Jung Hai and really neutralizing his effectiveness.
Xe looking very solid so far with that KD. Start out, Xe playing up top here at green, manages to find Sound yet again. Is the first one to fall on the side of Apex people. Couple good rounds from time to time, but overall it's been rough tidings here for the Omen player.
And you can see, again, the verticality, using it on this map, so important. TNL just really smart about it. Not just with getting their characters in the right spots, but also getting their utility in the right spots.
Just looking to clear out center box here on site. Nobody playing there, though. Both playing well into the back of A. Spike's been brought forward. There's still 2 members that need to rotate into A right now from the side of Apex. People are trying to back up this push. Echo get a little tap off there as Wix falls down to 70 HP. Drone into the back. Not locating them yet, but knows where one's at, now knows where both are. Bot will get finished off as the spike starts to go down. Paint shells flying through. Decent little angle, but a bit too far away. Back end of the nade does get a little bit of damage in on the Park Jong, and then he takes a little bit more as well. Some gunfire. While Zeus is going to be looking to play the heroes, coming in for a deep lurk out from mid. Jong Hai cannot buy that much time. Zeus now starting to inch forward. Does manage to find one. It's just he and Wix versus the world. Pushes the corner. TS eliminates him, pushing out through the smoke. Cannot get the flick there onto Xe. So will be that pistol round victory coming in for TNL now, 9-4.
Yeah, it's a good flank by Zeus, but he doesn't check that right corner well enough. He's kind of expecting someone to be in front of him more towards the plant site. And yeah, he gets kind of blindsided there, and that makes things fall apart pretty quickly for Apex. It's a pretty good setup, but they get the, it's a nice owl drone, gets a lot of information. It's a good reaction off of that to get the plant. Defense just not quite there. Just really close from Zeus, but you got to be really careful about those angles. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because you know that there's going to be two that you're going to, when you come around that corner. So I'm not, you know, really criticizing him that much. That's a very tough corner to manage.
Changing it up a little bit there. Looked like it was going to be a 4 Sheriff setup here for the side of Apex people, but Zhonghai does just go ahead and move back to the Classic. It's a little bit of extra utility. It will be going armorless. Godlike confirming that there's at least somebody over in mid with the boom pot. A little bit of noise here. Echo, he's very much the one taking damage. Didn't get any shots to connect. Flashpoints well into the back. Looking to stop him from poking out. Drone will find one, but he is not ready for this. Zhonghai up top, dashes through, but Ritzy does manage to find him. So a big overstep here from Zhonghai. Wanted to try to just maybe scoop up that Bulldog and then get prepared to defend. But the rest of TNL in a position to go ahead and equalize that as a 1-for-1. TS coming in from behind, gets rid of Zeus. Isn't ready, though, for Sound to be holding in the back with the Sheriff. Headshot does go through. As Recon Dart will spot one. Exy playing right outside the Cloud Burst. Bulldog shots come in, back-to-back headshots. Follows up for a 3rd kill. This is just going to be a held defuse. That's the cleanup on the team. 10-4 now. TNL 2 rounds away from at least locking in that OT, but it is looking relatively hopeless for Apex people here on Icebox.
Not going well, no doubt about it. It's a tough one. Again, yeah, you said it exactly what I was thinking in that moment. That Zhonghai just overextended. He just went a bit too far in the paint. I mean, I get it. You get confident, you get a kill. You really feel like you can just keep that momentum going, but you're out in the open coming down those stairs. I mean, if anybody's out in that spawn area, you're in trouble. Yeah. You're just completely exposed, and Exy just, you know, catches him from the side blind with that Bulldog, picks up 2 more. Hey, that's easy money.
Godlike pressing forward as Ritzy just takes a couple little pot shots here. The drone will spot him, but do they see the raise? Yes, they do. Godlike now going to have to reposition as they try to get into a position to punish him, but he makes it back around the corner fast enough, doesn't take any damage. In the meantime, over here at the A site, Zeus was playing alone and does get eliminated. Sound with a very nice shot, finds Exy well into the back of the site, so great little Vandal 1-tap from him. Now we'll go back over to the spawn, retrieves the spike, and we'll join into the rest of the squad over at green.
That's interesting. That's kind of at least making TNL have to respect that they could come A, and they're going to use the Owl drone to try to check it out. Not a ton of people watching B, so the smokes are going to come down. Fault line as well, or flashpoint, aftershock to make sure there's nobody hanging out in the bottom of orange.
Taking some shots, spraying it through the box here. Line had connected. Still haven't gotten that kill. Wall coming out. Oh, man. The interruption.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable interruption on the plant.
That's so smart.
Okay. I see you, Ritzy. Very creative, but 2v4 all the same.
That's genius.
It's really nice. Echo trying to hold down this angle, is unable to do so, and they will fall in the end. Apex people picking up 5 rounds, but it was a 5-head play from Ritzy.
It's the moral victory for Ritzy there. I mean, you just displaced a spike plant with a wall. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I don't think I have. Granted, I'm behind on some VODs when it comes down to some of the other regions out there, so maybe somebody's done some plays like that.
Yeah, but that's I can't say I've ever seen it.
Definitely not here in Korea.
That's just so funny. I
mean, it's one of it's one of those plays we say it's cute, because it didn't result in the win, but it was damn cute.
Well, there's a lot of cute stuff you can do on this map because there's so much texture. I don't know how else to describe this. There's that you can get the walls through. Yeah. And fit stuff. So you have a lot of interesting, unique stuff. And well, that's not great for sound. And how many times have we seen that on this map? Steps into Exy's blades.
Just count how many rounds there are. Unfortunately, it feels like Sound is just the first one to die every single time. Zeus going to be joining him in the grave, however, as Godlike pressed forward over towards a main. Ritzy creeping around the back, but won't arrive in time. Zhonghai already going to fall. Ritzy pushes out, finds another one. Park Jong now going to be taken out. The spike on the ground, and Wix is all on his lonesome. Over here towards yellow. Echo gets the dink into the body shot. There's the cleanup. There's 11 on the board for TNL.
What if first deaths counted against your ACS?
Ooh.
Then this would be real bad for Sound. But It would, yeah, that'd be kind of interesting, because First Blood's obviously
I'd give him
add to it.
maybe a negative.
Can you get negative? Yeah. Can we go lower?
It wouldn't be good. I mean, Xyz is through the damn roof right now.
What's the opposite of to the moon?
To the core?
Yeah.
The core of the earth?
Because that's where that ACS
Paper hands together as we drill to the core of earth and incinerate ourselves.
Diamond hands are not. Even though there's diamonds in the ground.
True.
So that's where you would want to go to find your diamond hands, is in the ground first, right?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I'm not much of a Wall Street Bets guy, but Rolling Thunder does go crashing through. I think it only hit one, though. I believe it's just Echo, who's already well, truly behind the back of sight. Paint shells flying through. Godlike taking a ton of damage. Falls down to 11 HP. We'll see if Ritzy's going to be able to get the healing orb out onto him for this retake. Start making their way forward. Zhonghai with the knives flying. Does find Exy, but Ritzy trades it back. Thrown up over the top. Gets the dart into one. Zeus holding it down. Does get picked off after finding Godlike. 3v3 now as the Hunter's Fury will come through from Wix. Gets attacked onto ones, looking for the follow-up. Cannot swing it wide enough, however, to get that kill. Back in onto the spike will at least take this up to half, but they're just going to be holding it. But Sound does manage to come up with two. Park Jung holding back on this angle, and there's just nothing the TS can do. Apex people fighting back as best as they possibly can. We'll get a sixth on the board, but the spike will take out both remaining members.
Okay. That was pretty good. Everything is good on that setup. There's good, timings with the Hunter's Fury. There's good shooting by Sound to get that double there. I was kind of wondering when they were diffusing and no one was going to shoot at the spike. I'm like, is anybody gonna do that? I know there's a smoke there, but you can blast through those, and eventually Sound waits for a good timing, come out there, picks up a double. So yes, 11-6. I mean, you never know. You never, ever know. Apex people are kind of a swingy team, and they don't ever give up, man. Almost all their games are close. They're always...
They're always what?
They're almost always in it.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1 exchange, but it was a damn good shutdown at the very beginning. But now here comes Zhonghai starting to heat up. CS eliminated. Sound hanging on there for dear life with 24 health remaining. Playing around the back of the site is Godlike. With the help of Ritzy, manages to find one, but Wix will pick up two. And suddenly, it's just Ritzy left alive.
Great
holding
reaction.
the angle, spots one. Oh, man, whips it completely. Wix snaps over to the left, gets the headshot. 3 kills on the round for him. Spike, I believe, barely doesn't get planted, so not going to be having that bonus money at the end. But, like you were talking about, never truly out of it yet. Apex people, they are now within 4.
I don't know what it is. It's like the worse things get for them, the better they get sometimes. Coming into that match against TNL, they had to do something special to get themselves into this event. They did it.
Like Olaf in League of Legends. Lower their HP goes, they get the more attack speed, they get the lifesteal.
Yeah, precisely.
That's when they're at their most dangerous.
I'm glad you know League of Legends more than I do, so you can make those references.
I mean, I only commentated it for about, 7 years, but a good little pickoff here onto Exy. But it was a nice sheriff punish to get a gun out of the hands of Apex people, making it a bit more winnable here for TNL. 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
TNL in a good spot with their ultimates. They could maybe try to get that res onto Exy. You could try to throw up a wall. So him reaching out there. But you can see Apex is kind of aware of it. They're watching it pretty closely. They know that it might be attempted. I like this. You gotta kind of force this at least. You don't want to let them get Exy back up for free.
Yep. Good recovery on the gun. Ooh, Sound. It's like, I think I saw something there, but he's not, maybe not quite 100% certain about it. Repeak is potentially getting ready to be there from Echo. Yep, it is. Echo's ready. Finds the punish. Hunter's Fury is available from Echo, and there you go. Knows exactly where that lockdown is going to be coming from. So does manage to finish that one off. Also gets Park Jung on the back end of it. TS with the Bucky finds one. Echo is there for the cleanup. A thrifty for TNL to secure their 12th round win. 5 straight now for Apex people if they want to force us into OT.
I mean, talk about value out of that Hunter's Fury. Not only do you take the lockdown out, but you're going to kill after that? That's nuts. That's really good. And that's some great stuff from Echo. And here you go. This is do or die time. The rest of it has to be wins if you're going to force overtime. For Apex, they put in a good showing. Echo with 3 kills in that round. Huge for him, but still the star of the show, as usual for TNL, has been Exy.
Start up over the top, Exy, oh man, operator in his hands, pushes out below 2, but you can see they are done screwing around. 2 kills instantly off the bat. Couple shots flying through the wall there, up into kitchen, gets a tag, it's TS, takes Sound's head off. Godlike now well into the back, and it all comes down to Zhonghai. I mean, this is who you would want to bet on if you had to bank on a little turnaround ace, but it's not going to happen. Flawless final round, 13-7. TNL very one-sidedly take Icebox.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Well, not super bad. Apex had a couple good rounds in there. Pretty decent comebacks in the second half. You know, some good adjustments being made. But overall, they just kind of they looked lost. They just didn't, know how to read the map. They're not really able to read what TNL is doing and when they're doing it. For example, they watch Exy's dead body when they know the res is available, and they're checking it out. They're seeing who's coming through. And instead of rotating back over to A, at least like checking what's going on in A, they just full commit to B. And TNL's all there. Why? Like TNL knows what they're doing, and they're just waiting for it.
Yep.
And they just can't break through that defense. I mean, it's really tough when a defending team is all set up on a site. That's really hard to break.
Yeah. And this is, one of the big worries and one of the big reasons that I kind of, picked TNL. They had enough time to watch the tendencies of Apex people after their recent loss to them. And at least on Icebox, granted, it is their map pick, it looks like they've kind of downloaded Apex people a little bit. They're not throwing them too many curveballs. They're reacting extremely well to what Apex people are doing. And they just managed to come out on top. So crushing them as far as the damage is considered. Headshot percentage slightly higher there for Apex people, but, nearly half as many rounds won. So that only takes you so far.
Yeah, that isn't really what matters too much there. It's just a lot of wins in the frags. They're just out shooting them is a big part of that one. That's about all you can say. I mean, the top fragger is 16, and that's Zeus. For Apex, I mean, Zhonghai was completely isolated, completely shut down. They never let him get going with that operator. That's a big part of this. You can't let him get hot. I know he played decently well with that combat score, but honestly, Zeus was looking pretty decent there as well. No assist for him. Only 1 first blood, and that was it. 5 first blood total for Apex people in that.
I mean, 111 higher average combat score here for Exy, the 2.2 KDA, 25 kills in the game. And I'm concerned for Apex people that after 2-0ing TNL about a week ago, they have pissed Exy off. It seems like it. He was bested by Zhonghai, 43 kills to the 33 that Exy had. Exy comes in here, absolutely crushes.
And he's like, guys, I'm playing Jet now. I got to show Zhonghai who's the better Jet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would not put it past Exy for that to be the reason. This might not have been a coaching decision. He might have just been like, I need to play the Jet. I need to show this guy what's up. Please just let me do it. I can play this extremely well. And, if you're the coach, if you're the rest of the team, you probably just go, yeah, okay, Exy, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because you are that damn good.
Absolutely. You got to let him off the leash. He had 8 first bloods in that, by the way.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them are sound.
Too many. And too soon. Paper thin. Too soon indeed.
Sorry.
But that is map 1 in the books. Things looking very good for TNL. Apex people, their map pick of Ascent is going to be coming up next. So maybe we can tie it up. We're going to find out when we come back to that map in just a few.